Hey everyone, we are back with episode 16 of Path of Exile Bestiary. I am Mark, and we are in the Reliquary. The Reliquary is one of our two quest goals, and I picked this one to do first because I happen to know that the item we get from the ossuary is big and it takes up a lot of inventory space, so I don't want to bother with it until we actually need it, because we're stuck with it for a little while. So I'm going to go ahead and run through here, and we're going to kill all the monsters in the Reliquary and find the 3 relics of the Kaori that are supposed to help us with our fight against Kitava. And we've made some good progress through this. Act 5 is relatively short. We might actually finish it in this episode. There's our first relic. And I'm just going to keep going because there's nothing else in here as far as I know other than monsters to kill. I suppose I will search around and make sure we don't miss anything useful like syndicate missions or sulfite or bestiary beasts or anything like that, but I haven't seen anything so far. I already found a crafting recipe in here, so I don't think we're going to find another one. They seem to be at most one of those per area. But I'll take a good look around, and I'll let you know if I find anything good. Here is the second relic that we found. And I'm going to go ahead and read this little bit of lore here and see what it says.
Tukohama, our father of war, and Valakor, father of storm, took Kitava to Hinekora, mother of death. They asked her to kill the greedy Kitava, for surely their tribe would starve if Kitava continued to live among them. But Hinekora refused, for death would not teach Kitava the lesson he needed to learn. Instead, Hinekora beat Kitava with a whip woven of her own hair. To Kitava, each strand was a searing lash, and so he wore thousands and thousands of blistering lashes across his back, as Hinekora drove him relentlessly into the darkest corner of the underworld. There she left him to suffer, without water or food, for the rest of eternity. And there Kitava remained, in the darkness of Hinekora's night-clad island, for time beyond measure. There he suffered, waiting for the day that he could return to the world of light, to slake his scorching thirst and satiate his ravening hunger.
Yeah, so Kitava, bad. I think we knew that. But that drives home the point. There is a Immortal Syndicate encounter up there, so I'm going to clear this area a bit because I suspect that is a caravan. Here is our third relic, and that is all we need to do in here. I'll go ahead and read part 2 of this. We're going backwards, but that's okay.
To replace the feast of birds that Kitava had greedily consumed, Tukohama, our father of war, and Valakor, father of storm, went fishing. Although Kitava was blind, he could still cast his line and feel when a fish took his bait. So Tukohama and Valakor took him with them on Tukohama's mighty canoe. But while they fished, Kitava grew hungry, and secretly ate all of their bait of grubs and worms. Disgusted and angry, Tukohama and Valakor decided to use Kitava as bait instead. Valakor used his own jawbone as a hook, impaled Kitava on it, and cast both into the sea. Kitava sank to the bottom of the sea, but instead of the fish eating Kitava, it was Kitava who ate all of the fish that nibbled at him, flesh, scales, guts, and all. When Tsukuhama and Valakor hauled a fat-bellied Kitava back up from the sea, they were even more furious and knew that Kitava must be punished one final time.
So Kitava is basically an all-consuming hunger. We're going to do our recast our golem, and we're headed for somewhere over here. Our encounter with the Immortal Syndicate. Okay, so Tora is actually the leader of one of the safe houses. So I'm going to talk to all of these people and see what options they give us.
I choose an honorable death.
Okay, so he gives us the basic options, and we have 3 prisoners, so I'm not going to imprison anyone, I don't think.
Death's the only option here, I'm afraid.
All of them give me the same
Death
choices.
is a natural part of life. I've made my peace.
I wonder if the leadership changes if you take out a safe house. I'm going to go ahead and kind of want to interrogate her to find out what she's up to. Yeah, we'll go ahead and interrogate her because that's going to kick out. Let's see who it kicks out. Hillock has the least time. And it does kick out Hillock with the least time.
This one will be difficult to tame.
And we get 2 items for that, 2 veiled items.
Death's the only option here, I'm afraid.
Yep, we'll execute you.
You honor the way by swiftly delivering death to warriors who fought well.
I must confess, I believed you to be bluffing. I see now how little regard for life you truly have. Whatever it is you want, it's yours.
And more fortification intelligence, I guess. I don't really want to set all prisoners free. I guess one of these guys is going to go free. So let's interrogate him. And we didn't learn anything about Camarilla, so that's kind of useless.
You dishonor me. Imprisonment is for slaves, not warriors.
And I believe we are done here. I have done a pretty good job exploring. I'm just going to check the edge a little bit over here. Yeah, I don't see anything else. So I'm going to pop our gems, and we can head back to town and get rid of these artifacts. We'll talk to Lanny and see what she says about the artifacts.
Not all slaves believe Dutula's lies. Some I know have managed to steal a ship and are soon to set sail for Namakanui. Hopefully, with these treasures on board, Valakor will bless their voyage and breathe deeply into their sails. No, I'm not going with them. I helped bring this curse down upon Oriath, so I'll help save what little there is left to save. Here, take something, in thanks for your part in preserving the Karui way.
And we get a book of skill. And I don't think there's a lot of useful items here. Well, that might be. Not so much. Oops, that is veiled item, so we're not going to sell that.
For freedom.
Let's unveil our 2
Exile.
veiled items we got. None of these are particularly useful to our build. I'm just going to go ahead and continue boosting up increased physical damage. Oh, and that gets it to rank 2, so that was worthwhile. And then we'll do this belt and see what we get. And we are going to finish off our resists. And these items aren't worth keeping for me, so I'm going to go ahead and sell those.
More knights.
Freedom comes to those who fight.
And we'll dump our inventory, and we're going to head back out to the ossuary after we spend our 2 skill points. And now that we finished off this totem node over here, we are heading out along this tree to, let me double check. Yep, to there. We are going to go up this way and get Written in Blood. And we're also going to go down to Cold-Hearted Calculation, I believe. Yes. And then we're going to wind our way in here and onward. So we have a little bit of a boring stretch to deal with. And inventory's clear, so let's go ahead and hit the waypoint. We will go to the ossuary, which is our last stop. Resummon our dead golem, and we're going to go looking for the artifact that's in here that's going to help us kill Kitava. And anything else useful we can find. This place is nice and cheery, as you might expect from an ossuary. And that little lever that you can see on the map over there. Oh, you know what? I missed a... Did I? Either the ossuary or the reliquary had a labyrinth for the cruel lab in it. And I already did it on another character, so it didn't show up in my quest log, so I completely forgot it was there. I can see the quest item over there. So this is like a big loop. We just have to go around. So we will talk to Vagan.
Victory must be rewarded, I always say. And while beheading me might be reward for some, I think you'd prefer something more useful.
I would. Let's get some currency.
I expect you will come at us with a new strategy next time, Vagan. I look forward to it.
And we got a bit of currency out of that deal.
Exile.
And now we are ready to finally go get our quest item.
With you.
And unsurprisingly, we have to use that to defeat Kitava.
An empire is nothing more than a standard pitched in the naked earth. The time has come for you to raise the standard upon the peak of false faith, the apex of Chitta's cathedral. Drive it deep into that sacred stone. Mark the death of a faithless empire and slay the slavering kingdom that seeks to consume it.
Okay, so we're off to face Kitava. This lever opens the secret passage, which is a one-way passage, which takes us out to the exit. And the waypoint. I'm going to pop back to town quickly to clean up my inventory, and I'll be right back. We are back in the ruined square. I went to town, I cleaned out my inventory, and checked around to see if anyone had anything to say about our current quest. They did not, so I went back to the ruined square, ran through it, and found the way to the cathedral rooftop, which is our next stop, where we're going to use the Sign of Purity to awaken Kitava and kick his butt, hopefully. Okay, we're on the roof, and this is a pretty big wide open zone, and I know which direction Kitava lies, so we're just going to run up here and kill all the things. We'll do the usual, poke around, make sure we don't miss anything important. And I will let you know if we find anything cool.
I've been itching for a good fight. Mind if I jump in? A spot more. Wheeling and dealing.
Vagan is all show and no substance. I think he needs to
A rough tussle, but I'd rather not lose my head over it. I could, however, bear the loss of another head.
Okay, we're going to talk to Vagan, and we're
A rough tussle, but I'd rather not lose my head over it. I could, however, bear the loss of another head.
We're going to interrogate him.
Can't we bargain again instead? No?
And Aisling...
You've won the battle, Exile, but the war rages on. Do you want to know what wins wars? Weapons. Let me go, and I'll give you the tools you so desperately need.
We're going to bargain with her. Keep her moving up the organization. Putting her in the... she's smuggling veiled weapons, so putting her in the safe house might be a good idea.
Take them. They're yours. There's plenty more where that came from, but I don't expect you'll be getting them.
And we'll continue on our way here. Okay, we are at the Cathedral Apex, and we are ready to face off against Kitava. So we're going to go inside here, and we're going to stick our Sign of Purity into the Cradle of Purity, which starts the fight. And before we do that, I am actually just going to throw down a portal because this fight is nasty. Should be fairly easy to take care of, but you never know with Kitava. One false move can cause you some serious problems. Stage 1 goes down pretty easily. And of course the rest will be just as easy. And, oh, that's what I didn't want to get hit with. And his heart comes out and we try and kill his heart. And avoid getting killed by all the monsters that show up with it. And Kitava comes back, and we do the same thing. We kill him. And he goes down again, and his heart should come out and do the same thing. Ooh, let's not stand in the path of Red Doom. Oop, let's not run that way. And there is Kitava down once again. Did we get him that time? I bet you know the answer.
The flame of hope may flicker, but it cannot be extinguished.
Rescued by sin. How embarrassing. Okay, let's see what he has to say.
There is no shame in falling to a god. Shame lies only in refusing to rise again. You shall soar. That much I'm permitted to foresee. You shall ascend to the peak of your loftiest mistake, and from there you shall pluck a single surviving hope from the jaws of immortal despair. A ship sails for Lion Eye's Watch, not far from here. Be on it.
Okay, so we're going back to Wraeclast, and it will be a different Wraeclast. So we have a waypoint here, which I think we automatically get. And there is Lily Roth, who is going to be one of our best buds in the New World. This is the end of Act 5, so we are off to Act 6.
I'm Captain Lily Roth, and we sail for Wraeclast. Better to live in exile than die on this psychotic bonfire of an island. You want to make it out of here? You'd better get on board. But make it quick, 'cause I ain't got time for tears and regrets.
And that's pretty much all we can do. We're going to go ahead and sail for Act 6 and Wraeclast.
Remember, this ain't no charity run. You owe me. Cast off!
Let's go ahead and talk to Lily one more time.
Alright, we're safe for the time being. Now let me introduce myself properly. Lily Roth. Yep, I'm one of those Roths. Some call me smuggler, others pirate. Yet I prefer the sound of nautical entrepreneur. I came up with that one myself. So you come see Lily if you need something, or even if you just fancy a good chat with a lovely lady. Don't think I'd be forgetting that favour you owes me. In fact, now I think of it, there's certainly a way you can be repaying this most considerable debt. You see, those blasted cultists have been plundering the refugee ships trying to escape Oriath, and if not for my incomparable skill as a sea captain, we'd have met the same fate. But now the drowned dead are washing ashore, and they ain't staying dead. There's been a whole lot of blood, sweat and tears getting these few lucky survivors here in one piece. What sort of captain would I be if I let them get ripped apart by walking corpses? Wipe the Twilight Strand clean of those filthy undead bastards and I'll call us even. Might even throw in a little something extra if you can pull it off.
Okay, so she wants us to go kill all the undead on the Twilight Strand, and if you recall, way back, Episode 1, Twilight Strand is where we started out. And this is quite laggy. Let's go ahead and talk to Sin.
Despite your best efforts, Beastslayer, a splinter of hope remains. The very seed that brought my beast into existence. The Dark Ember. Never again shall it birth a life so magnificent as the beast. Yet a residue of that power still lingers. Enough to give us a fighting chance against the ravenous Kitava. How do we obtain this Dark Ember? 3 hearts were silenced. 3 hearts must sing again, one last time. In that final flickering of life, our Savior's seed shall be born. All I need are 3 fine souls with which to stoke the flames. Chevron of Umbra, Inquisitor Maligaro, Doldre the Dark Tongue. 3 spirits of near unfathomable resilience and vigor, freed with the beast's final exhalation. So let us begin the harvest. Chevron has come home to Axiom. We shall give her the warm welcome she sincerely deserves.
Okay, so recall when we killed Malachi, we had the 3 guardians of his organs. These are the same people, so we're killing them again. We have a couple more people to talk to here.
First we hear that Oriath has lost its bloody mind, and then you turn up. Doesn't take a scholar to work out how these 2 events might be connected. I don't know what's going on out there, and I probably wouldn't understand it if I saw it with my own 2 eyes. What I do know is this. The world we knew, it's gone. Now we have to do our damnedest to make sure we don't go with it. Nessa. I saw her one night, running out across the coast, headed in the direction of the mudflats. Called out to her, but she didn't even turn her head. Maybe she couldn't hear me. Maybe she didn't want to. I don't bloody know.
I tried to run after her, but she'd vanished into the darkness before my feet had barely touched the sand. So I tracked her, all the way to the mudflats, and that's when her tracks, they just stopped. No sign of meeting someone or something, no sign of a struggle. It's like one moment she was running and the next, gone. Look, I've heard some things about what you've done. Things that beggar belief. Now you can do this. Please. Find Nessa. Bring her back to us.
Okay, so Nessa has gone missing, and we'll talk to Bestel and
Stay
get
sharp out
our last quest.
Now there's a pair of eyes I could never forget. If the tales are true, those peepers of yours have seen all the wonders of Wraeclast by now. And a few things they likely wish they hadn't. Oh, and no need for us to speak of Oriarth. My ears are brimful with the sorrows these wretched companions of yours have been spilling. Now, I'm sure you've noticed that Lion Eyes Watch has seen better days. Our once bubbling township has, alas, become a brooding quagmire of gloom and despair. I blame the unrelenting weather. As you know, I am both a humanitarian and a strong believer in the soul-sustaining power of story. Back when I was still captain of the Merry Gull, many days at sea afforded me time to work on my thespian aspirations. I wrote a theatrical epic, a one-man show entitled Cedric and the Buxom Stranger. I sealed the manuscript inside a roll of oiled leather and stashed it in the hold for safekeeping. Perhaps you could salvage it for me from that tidal island upon which my poor ship came to rest. Who knows? Maybe we can bring some joy back to Lion Eyes Watch with a bit of live entertainment.
Okay, so he wants us to go find some manuscript. And I am going to go ahead and travel to the Twilight Strand. This is a pretty quick quest, and the reward for it is pretty good. But before we set out, just to point out two things. First, our resists went from pretty solid to pretty bad. And that is because after you kill Kitava for the first time, you suffer I believe it's a 20% resist debuff. Maybe it's more. I don't actually remember. I don't know if I can scroll back far enough. I should be able to. Minus 30% resist. So our resists are bad. And the other thing we have now is an XP penalty if we die. So we want to avoid dying. I believe it's only 5% now. But that goes up to 10% once we hit the end of Act 10. And our resist debuff goes up as well. And we're here, and all we're doing here is killing all the monsters we can find. We have a currency, so I'm just going to upgrade this. Not worth a big upgrade, and we didn't really get much out of it. There is essence that we can kill. Just recast our golem since he's getting a little beat up. And hook around the corner here. Kill those guys and see what this message in the bottle has to say. Okay, so ship attacked by crabs, including the Brine King, who we will run into shortly. And this is really, really long, so I'm going to skip the rest because it's just telling us a story about a wrecked ship and foreshadowing the Brine King's appearance. Nothing against the Brine King and foreshadowing, but that's really long. Fortification intelligence, we need more, but I think I'll go ahead and bargain and get some currency.
May your nest be shiny.
Wasn't too bad. I'm going to make sure we don't miss any undead around because we have to kill them all. Only one monster remains, and he's probably out here at the end. Oh, and he's the unique guy. And we kill him, no problem. Pick up our loot. Summon our golem. And head back to town to talk to Lily.
A wretched sight. So many drowned Ariathans cast into undeath. You freed them from their torment, and I'm sure they'd be grateful. Here, that little something extra I were talking about. Though the sea takes away, it gives back in greater measure.
Okay, we get a passive book from her.
While you be skulking about, I've managed to do a bit of hunting on my own. Got a hole full of baubles and trinkets here, which I managed to, procure. Take a look. You might find something particularly naughty to help you on your life's voyage.
Okay, and the main reason to do that quest is the fact that Lily sells all the available gems. Which is great to have available because we do need to do some work on our build. We're not quite to the finished build because we've been missing some gems, and this just makes it easier to get them all. So let's go ahead and spend our passive point. We're going to go... Where are we headed again? We are headed up for... I'm so confused. We're headed for Written in Blood. Where is it? There it is. We're headed here. So we're going to go here. And with that, I am going to go ahead and call the episode. We have made it into Act 6, and we are ready to move on, exploring Wraeclast anew. We left Oriath behind, and we killed Kitava with no problem. So, thanks for watching, as always. If you want to keep up with the channel, hit the notification bell to hear when new videos go out. Likes and subs, always appreciated, as always. And, I'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.